This chapter is 8C on theoretical probability. In this chapter, we'll learn to identify equally likely events and to find the probability of equally likely events. So the word equally likely means an equal chance. So when we roll a dice, everything has an equal chance. Everything has a 1 in 6 chance of landing. Like I have a 1 in 6 chance of getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. In this example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors, and because they are divided equally, I have a 1 in 5 chance of getting a green, a yellow, a purple, an orange, or a red. However, if you look at the last example, the red section is so much bigger than the green, and the green is so much bigger than the blue. So it's not equally likely that getting blue and red is not equally likely, because it looks like I have a 1/2 of a chance of getting red, and I have what looks like maybe 1/3 of a chance of getting green, and blue would be something even smaller. So this one is not equally likely. It's not fair. So in this problem, we need to identify equally likely events. So which of the following situations have equally likely outcomes? So here are 5 problems, randomly picking a boy in class where there are 5 girls and 5 boys, rolling a dice and getting a number smaller than 2, rolling a dice and getting an even number, randomly picking a piece of chocolate in a jar with 4 chocolate candies, 4 peppermint candies, and 4 sour candies, and looking in the jar and picking out a piece of chocolate. Now the key word is looking in the jar and picking out a piece of chocolate. So at this time, pause and tell me which ones are equally likely. Which situation has an equally likely outcome? So in A, randomly picking a boy in a class where there are 5 girls and 5 boys. This one is equally likely because it's fair. There's 5 girls and 5 boys. It's an equal chance. Now, rolling a dice and getting a number smaller than 2. So any number that's smaller than 2 on a dice is just a 1 versus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So rolling a dice and getting a number smaller than 1, well, that's not exactly a fair chance. So it's not equally likely. Rolling a dice and getting an even number. Well, there's 1, 3, and 5, which are odds, and 2, 4, and 6, which are evens. So it's equally likely. Picking a piece of chocolate in a jar with 4 chocolate candies, 4 peppermint candies, and 4 sour candies. Since it's the same amount for each one, it's equally likely. It's fair. Now, looking in the jar and picking out a piece of chocolate. Now, that's just not fair because you're actually looking inside. So it is not equally likely. It's certain that you're going to pick a piece of chocolate if you had to. Now in skill 2, you want to find the probability of likely events, equally likely events. So the formula is, the probability is what you think the outcome is out of the total number of choices. So if we roll an ordinary dice, what's the probability of getting a score of 5? Since on the dice there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the chance of getting a 5 is 1, because that's the one outcome I want, out of 6, because that's the total. Second example, what's chances of getting an even number? Well, on the dice there's a 2, 4, and a 6. So that's 3 out of 6 numbers. Look, I can simplify this fraction and make it 1 out of 2. So at this time, pause and continue. So, a prime number, remember, is a number divisible by 1 and itself. So on the dice, we have 2, 3, and 5. So it's a 3 in 6 chance, which is also 1/2. A factor of 12, meaning numbers that multiply to make 12. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, not 5, but 6. That is 5 out of 6. And a number bigger than 2, not including 2. So that's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's 4 out of 6, which, by the way, is 2/3. And that's it.